Hello students, Bindu Chaudhary this side welcomes you in your social science class, and as usual in our social science class we are continuing our civics portion, and in this portion we are continuing our unit 3rd the judiciary, and in this one we had studied our next 5th chapter, and today we are continuing our chapter 6th last part. It means understanding our criminal justice system's last part, part 4th of question answer session. When we are starting question answer session, then what's in the chapter reading session? Have you learned something from that one, or we will recall that one to you? Okay. In the introduction part, it means part first, we had discussed about the different stages of the courts. We discussed about the judiciary system and different laws with the help of the police, how police role is the main role, and what's the decision making of the police is necessary for the accused person, or the judge's decision is necessary for the accused person, because on that time we had studied about the person police is not in a power to decide that any accused is guilty or not. It is only the judgment of the judge who decides that the accused is guilty or not. So we had discussed about the role of the police, FIR, introduction of the public prosecutors also, and with the help of all these chapter reading session we discussed about many things. D.K. Basu's guidelines by the Supreme Court, and Article 22, and many things related to criminal justice system. So in the starting of our question answer session, we will take this one here. Our first question related to the criminal justice system. Define the term criminal justice system, and what's the answer here? Yes, as per the reading session, the criminal justice system is the body of law or court regulating the inquiry into whether a person has violated criminal law or not. So this one is the real definition of criminal justice system, where body of law, or we will tell that court or the judiciary system's main part that regulate the inquiry. Yes, we discussed about the judiciary system, that legislature and executives, they had also not the power to influence the judiciary system. That's why this is considered as the main part. Our next question is here, students. Write a brief note on the criminal procedure in the criminal justice system in India. So what's the criminal procedure here? A crime is first reported by the victim to the police. This one is the first step. First reported by whom? First reported by the victim to whom, student? To the police. And the police file a FIR. Yes, we had studied about FIR, first information report. So the role of police is to put a FIR. Okay. Then the police begin the investigation. The next role begins by the police, by the investigation and arrest the suspected person or persons, maybe one person or maybe more than one person. So this one is the step by step process in the criminal justice system. Next is here, the police then file a charge sheet in the magistrate's court. The trial begins in court. So after the arresting of the person or persons, the next role of police comes that police file a charge sheet in the magistrate's court, and with the evidences, with the witnesses, all these things happen. The trial begins in the court. The public prosecutor represents the victim, and the accused can defend themselves with the help of a lawyer. It means with the help of the two lawyers. To whom, students? One from the public prosecutor side and one from the accused defense side. So all these with the help of the lawyers put their sequences put their main considering points here. Once the trial is over, the accused is either convicted or acquitted. So all these depends on the trial. We had discussed about the fair trial or unfair trial also. So fair trial is here. If convicted, the accused can re-appeal to the higher court. Yes, different stages of courts we had studied, and this one, the main part is Supreme Court, then High Court, and then the lower court. And if any accused is not satisfied by the lower court's decision, then he or she or they may appeal to the higher court. Higher court, it means next to their court. Okay. Our next question is here. What is the role of the police in the criminal justice system? Main role of the police, because everything based on the police investigations, witnesses and evidences and FIR and other things. Okay. So in the criminal justice system, the police play the important role of investigating the case and arresting the accused. So this is the important shortest answer of this question. Question 4th is here. What are the guidelines that the police have to follow during investigation? Yes, different guidelines by Supreme Court, by D.K. Basu. So the police follow all these guidelines. We will discuss the guidelines here. Police investigations have to be conducted in accordance with law and with full respect for whom? For the fundamental human rights. So the police are not allowed to torture, beat or shoot anyone during investigation. So this is the main guidelines by the Supreme Court, that police has no power to torture, to beat or to shoot any person during the investigation time, not as per the families dramas, not as per the dramas with the films. So films are totally based on the imaginary events. Okay. They cannot inflict any form of punishment on a person even for petty offences. So this is the also again main important point or guideline by the Supreme Court and D.K. Basu, that the police had not enough power to inflict any form of punishment. Okay. Here we are coming to the next question, question 5th. What are D.K. Basu's guidelines? Just you remember all the sequences of our chapter reading session. So it is so much easy for you to answer all these things here. See, D.K. Basu's guidelines are as follows. The first one is here. The police officials who carry out the arrest or interrogation should wear clear, accurate and visible identification and name tags with their designation. So it is compulsory for all the police members to wear a clear dress, to wear an accurate and visible identification of their own and their name tags with the designation they hold. Okay. Other things also, a memo of arrest should be prepared at the time of arrest and should include the time and date of arrest here. It should also be attested by at least one witness who could include a family members of whom students, family members of the person arrested. जहाँ पे हम पुलिस का रोल देखते हैं तो पुलिस को एक मेमो बनाना होगा, उस मेमो में वो पूरा टाइम और डेट मेंशन करेगा कि किसी व्यक्ति को किस टाइम पे किस डेट में पकड़ा गया, एंड आफ्टर दैट शुड बी अटेस्टेड बाय वन विटनेस फ्रॉम द फैमिली मेंबर्स ऑफ द accused person, the person arrested. And the next important thing police will do for what? The arrest memo should be countersigned by the person arrested. It means the person who is accused, he or she himself countersigned that memo with one of the witness of the family members of him or her. The person arrested, detained or being interrogated has a right to inform a relative, to a friend or well-wisher. So, all these things are the main guidelines. Okay. When a friend or relatives lives outside the district, the time, place of arrest and venue of custody must be notified by the police within 8 to 12 hours after arrest. So, all these are the main important guidelines for the police and all the aware members that many things are there to be learned. Next question is here. We all know about FIR. It's okay. Before this chapter, many students don't know about FIR, what's the full form of FIR. But now, we thought that all the peoples easily learn this one. All the students, you easily know the term FIR. So, it's easy to write in answer session here. FIR stands for First Information Report. It is the full form of FIR, First Information Report. The police have to file a FIR whenever a person gives information about a non-offence. So, this one is the first step taken by the police. This information can be given to the police either orally or in writing. Yes. If any offence happened, then a person who gives the information may be by oral or maybe in the written process it is. FIR is necessary for the police to begin their investigations into a crime. So, the first step taken by the police is what, students? Yes, to write a FIR. Okay. Maybe orally it is or maybe it is in the written process by the person who want to know about all these things. The FIR should mention the date, time and place of the offence. What is included in the FIR, students? First thing, date, then what? Time and the venue of the offence, details about the offence including a description of the event, whatever may be the event occurred, all things are mentioned in the FIR. The FIR should also state the name and address of the complainant. There is a prescribed form in which the police register an FIR and it is signed by the complainant. So, what's the role of the complainant here? Complainant's address is also mentioned in this one, name is also mentioned in this one, and one copy of the FIR also provided to the countersigned person. It means to the complainant, and he or she will undersign that FIR. So, this one is the FIR here. We are including this one. The complainant also has a legal right to get a free copy of the FIR from the police. It's okay. He or she put the complaint, but they had a right also to get a free copy of FIR by the police. We are concluding our next question here. Who is a prosecutor? Yes, we had discussed a story in our chapter reading session, and in that one we have public prosecutor. So, this is the question here. The prosecutor is a lawyer representing the state or the people of the state in a criminal trial. Okay, the concept is clear with regarding to the story mentioned in the chapter. Our next question is here. Why is the prosecutor called a public prosecutor? Yes, this is a nice question here. Why the prosecutor called to be a public prosecutor? जनता का prosecutor है, ऐसा क्यों कहा गया है? देखिए यहाँ पे, the prosecutor who represents the state is called a public prosecutor as a criminal offence is regarded as a public wrong. पूरे public के लिए गलत हुआ है, which has been committed not only against the victim but also against the society as a whole. As we had discussed the story of Mr. and Mrs. Shinde and Shanti. Okay, on that time the case is not with Mrs. Shinde and Shanti. The case mentioned is what? State versus Shanti. Okay. So this one is the reason why the prosecutor is to be called a public prosecutor, because every decision taken by the judge with the reference of the public tutor is what? With the concern of the peoples, with the concern of the citizens, with the concern of the public. Okay. Our next question, second last question is here. What is the role of the judge in the criminal justice system? Yes, we had discussed the role of police, the role of public prosecutor. Then here comes the question of the role of the judge. The judge conducts the trial impartially in an open court. What is the important role of judge? That any case concerned impartially taken into the open court, the judge hears all the witnesses. Second main step is what, students? The judge hears all the witnesses and any other evidence presented by the prosecution and the defense. So this one is the main role of the judge, that whatever may be the decisions taken by the judge depends on the witnesses and evidences. Okay. The judge decides whether the accused person is guilty or innocent. Yes, who will decide that a person is guilty or innocent? Only and only judge decides that the person is guilty or innocent on the basis of the evidences presented and in accordance with the law. Everything done but with the accordance of the law, everything is mentioned by the judge. Okay. If the accused is convicted, then the judge pronounces the sentence of death, sentence of jail, sentence of time being jail. Okay. He may send the person to jail or impose a fine or both. Yes, sometimes only jail is there, sometimes jail with some fine, money fine is there, amount fine is there, depending on what the law prescribes for these types of cases. As in the Shanti's case, by the whole study everything is clear. What is the clearance, student? That the victim is not Shanti. Victim is the friend of Mr. Shinde's sons. Okay. So here everything is clear in your mind that what is the role of the judge? By the evidences, by the proofs, by the witnesses and with the prescriptions of the laws, every decision is taken by the police. We are concluding this chapter by the last question here. What are the procedures that have to be followed if the criminal trial has to be a fair trial? Fair trial is necessary for any type of case. So, what are the procedures? A copy of the charge sheet and all other evidences has to be given to the accused. So, first important thing, copy of charge sheet, countersigned charge sheet, and next one is the all other evidences providing by the police to the accused. Next is here the trial has to be held in an open court, not on a secret place where the accused and family members are not in a position to enter there. So the next important rule is here that any trial has to be held in an open court, in public views, and should be in the presence of the accused, as in the case of the Shanti. We had discussed the case of the Shanti, that in that time Shanti as well as Sushil was there in the court any time, because that is a free trial or open court, or we will say the fair trial is there. Okay. The accused has to be given a lawyer to defend himself in case he cannot afford to employ a lawyer. As in the case of the Shanti, Shanti was not in a possible way that she hold a lawyer, and Sushil also neglected that no, we have no money, because whatever money we saved, that police had taken as a witness as an envelope. So after the decisions of the Shanti and Sushil, what's the decision of the judge here in this case, student? Yes, the judge provided a lawyer, Kamla Roy, to the Shanti to defend herself. So this is also the main role of the judge here. This is the main role of the question holding in our last session. Okay, this one is the process how any laws are forcibly depends on the situations, how any laws implementing on the people with the help of the judiciary system, and how judiciary system follow all the laws, all the fundamental rights should also be secured with the help of the judiciary system. We will continue our next chapter with a new part. Stay with us. Have a nice day.